I woke up and I didn't know what country I was in. It sounds kind of dramatic, but it really sums up this entire season. Nomadic chaos, scrappy wins, constant relocation, and one realization that might actually explain why this thing is growing so fast. I kept asking myself, how is this still working? Even in the most chaotic weeks where it feels like we're barely holding it together. And the more I zoom out, the more one word kept on showing up: leverage. And I think it's our secret cheat code, so I'll touch on it later. But before any of that, let me get you up to speed. It's now been 18 months since I left behind everything in Australia. My high-rise apartment, my stable job, my friends who I miss every day, and my family, to go fully nomadic and build my brand Art of Mondays. And I haven't gone home yet, so I must be doing something right, I guess. If you're new here, my name's Evan, and every week I sit down and I share the honest, behind-the-scenes updates of building a 7-figure global brand with some of my best friends. The celebrations, the hard stuff, and all of the shenanigans in between. Of course, I'll share our Art of Mondays business numbers at the end, so make sure to stick around for that. And with that said, here's a look at what this week has been like.
I said, baby, how'd you fuck with my head? I don't know what it is, but all I confess.
So, time for the life update. I've just road tripped through Switzerland with Rachel, and after saying goodbye to Diana and Felix in Frankfurt, it was the first time that it was just us, really. Away from all of the crowds and all of the groups, and finally some peace and quiet. Well, that was the plan. It didn't exactly end up that way, and I'll tell you why in a second. We jumped on the train to find that there were no seats left. We had our backpacks on, we were tired and hungry, and hoping to hell that we'd make it to the van rental in Zurich 4 hours away before they closed. It was already 6:15 and the rental shut at 6, so we walked fast and then walked faster. So we made it just in time to pick up the car/home. It's a camper van. I'll show you more. That turns into a bed up there. That's a win, right? Well, yes, but also not quite. The rental guy was very chatty, very sweet, but he forgot to give us our cooking and cleaning supplies. And that really set the tone for the week. Every dinner was an improv show, trying to turn a
coffee storage pot into a pasta cooking pot.
And that's when challenge mode kicked in. No caravan parks because everything booked out for miles. We were sleeping in parking lots, showering in lakes, and I woke up one morning disorientated, jet lagged, and literally didn't know which country I was in. I think we glamorized this freedom lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I love it and I'm grateful for it. But there is a toll, from eating cold meals in the van to navigating team friction remotely to always needing to be on. It was a reminder that sometimes growth isn't glamorous, it's gritty. Over the week, we've been cruising around from Zurich to Geneva and everywhere in between, working in cafes and sleeping in beautiful but definitely questionable areas. So here's some of the raw, unfiltered, behind-the-scenes stuff from a week on the road, living the scrappy life in the most expensive country I've been to.
It's Tuesday morning, woke up feeling fuzzy and jet lagged and exhausted from the travel, but look where we are. Now the plan is to go for a run, shake off the cobwebs, and then lock in for a sesh this afternoon. We are near the town of Lungern, and we just had a phenomenal swim. Also our first shower since being here.
My first question is, why are you in Switzerland?
Why am I in Switzerland?
Yeah. Tell the people why you're in this beautiful part of the world.
Because I'd never been here, and I had a week in between different events, the residency in Canada and we're calling it the Hustle House with the Art of Mondays team next week.
I reckon I could float for a long way if I jumped in here. Just lay on my back like this.
Well, we've found somewhere. I don't know if we're allowed to sleep here or not, but we're definitely gonna have dinner here because this is the view. And the plan was to go up one of the mountains over there, which is called the top of Europe. And it was 227 Swiss francs, which is about $500 to go up the mountain. So we're going to try and walk up. Hiking was a great idea. So we're just stopping for a moment to grab a drink, go to the bathroom, and I think this might be the best view. Well, we just had our first restaurant meal in Switzerland, and we had a sandwich each and a drink, and it was a pretty affordable restaurant that still ended up costing us 120 Australian dollars. Sunset on one side, moon on the other. I want to tell you about one night on a cliff overlooking Lake Geneva. No Wi-Fi, no signal, just the moon shining on the lake and space to actually think. Rachel and I had a conversation that we didn't know we needed. We just kind of sat there and we said, how the hell do we end up here? A year ago, we were both working full-time, slaving with the 9-to-5 grind, and now we're building a global movement from the back of a van without needing to set alarm clocks in the morning. That's pretty special. It reminded me that the most meaningful moments aren't always loud and obvious. They're often quiet and reflective. And that there was my weekly highlight. And that's when it hit me as well. The reason we're still growing, even in weeks where Wi-Fi's patchy and jet lag hits hard, is leverage, which is my big learning for the week. Naval Ravikant says money doesn't come from money, it comes from leverage. And I couldn't agree more based on my last 18 months growing Art of Mondays. And that's why we've rebranded the team house behind us from the Hustle House to the High Leverage House, which I'll show you all about next week. And when we think of leverage, I think of 4 C's that contribute to it: content, capital, code, and collaboration. And here we're going to be focusing on creating content that gives us the power to reach tons of people all at once, and also on collaboration with the lens of 1 + 1 = 3 when we join forces and combine skill sets. Art of Mondays hasn't grown because we did more than anyone else. It's grown because we've just been multiplying what already works. So if you're building something right now, ask yourself, what's your version of leverage? And now for our Art of Mondays numbers update, starting with our founder family, the highly vetted community. We've had 3,197 applications, which is up 28 this week. We have 208 active members, which is up 5. We had 12,000 website hits this week, and the average age of our member is 28, and they're all lifestyle founders. So people who run online businesses and share our values of health, travel, wellness, consciousness, selflessness, and all that good stuff that we love. As for the other updates this week, well, we had our first team member leave, which was a new experience, but it's not for the reason you might think. So Theo joined us back in February and came along to our Croatia residency to hang out, meet more of the community, and see what the residency fuss was all about. And turns out it was great, because he met someone there who would end up being his co-founder for a new venture, and now he's going all in on that new business. And that's honestly a true Art of Monday success story, if you ask me. We announced our first virtual Help Me Help You session. It's happening next week, and we're going to bring everyone into a room, or a Zoom room in this case, and ask, what's the one thing that you're struggling with now that would level up your business if you could solve it? And then we'll see who else in the community has already solved that thing. It's essentially speed building by learning from other people's mistakes. And we run these at residencies all the time, and they're always epic. Dan, for example, he'd never run an ad for his Airbnb business, but after sitting down with Marcus, another founder family member, he had his first ad live within 24 hours. And then within a few days, he turned a few $100 into over 10K in revenue, which is just one of many incredible stories. And for the last update, if you've been following the Wealth Walks journey, the Art of Mondays sister brand, we had our biggest day so far with 75 new members joining in the space of 24 hours, which is exciting to see. As for the Founder Sports Club update, we're now at 4,901 members, up 271 over the past week. We're live in 50 countries, and we're also building a referral program for the app. So current members can make actual cold hard cash by referring like-minded founders in their network. Okay, so now let's slow it down. Here are 2 questions to ponder. 1, if you had to build your dream life with just a backpack and a laptop, where would you start? And number 2 is, what's the story you'll be proud to tell 10 years from now? And are you living that story today? Drop a comment and say hello, and I will see you next week with updates on this high leverage Art of Mondays house behind me with 9 of the team jamming out together. Thanks fam. Peace.